What is your favorite story about Miss Haskell?
Miss Liz, wow.
Did you know Liz was the Rosa Parks of the Boblo boat?
And then there was the Action House.
Come on over to the action house. Come on over where the action is.
She said, oh no, we're gonna fight this. And she did, and she won. I'm Beverly Johnson, spelled BeverlyJohnson, better known as Miss B.
So Miss B, what was the neighborhood like as a child?
The neighborhood was beautiful. When I first moved into that area, it was beautiful. The lawns were well kept, the homes were kept up really nice. The people around the surrounding area, my neighbors were very friendly, and we looked out for one another. I know that's an old cliche, but it's a true fact. On Travis Street, we looked out for each other.
How many of your children went to the Action House?
I have 3 of my natural children that went to Action House quite frequently, and I was the house mom
Okay.
for all the rest of my nieces and nephews, and then some of my godchildren as well. So whatever child darkened my door at one point or another in their life, they were a part of Action House activities. It was a clean and safe place for my children to be.
Okay.
I didn't have to worry about anything happening to my children when they were at Action House.
Okay. Can you tell me a story about Miss Lizz Haskell or the Action House?
Miss Liz, wow. She was a person you had to get to know in order to love her. She was very strict. She was a conformant to the rules. What had to be done is the way it had to be done. And she didn't waver too often or too much with that, but you could tell she was a stickler for the rules. She ran Action House as smoothly as she knew how. She came up against a lot of opposition at times from the children.
Okay.
But with the other adults that was around in the area and the Action House with her at that time was able to help her, which, quiet as kept, she really didn't need no help. But she was one person that really took her job seriously, and she really, really, really loved that Action House.
Okay. Did she have anything that like she always said, like a certain saying that she would always say?
Be quiet.
How would you compare her to the other women in the neighborhood?
It's not, you can't really compare the two, because what she had to exhibit in her control with the children is a lot different than you would exhibit at home with just your family. She had to encompass the whole neighborhood, which encompassed most often 5 or 6 different blocks. You see what I'm saying? And so she had to really, really redevelop herself in order to be that individual person that could handle all of this.
Okay. So how would you feel if I told you that when Liz was 28, she won a case in the United States Supreme Court that forced the integration of Boblo years before Rosa Parks bus protests?
I can believe that. I can believe that. Because our history is so laid back and laid, and we only are blessed with knowing what one wants us to know.
Okay.
And if we do not do the research necessary to find out what's the underlying circumstances, we'll never know. But I can believe that. She probably may have said it not around the right persons to take it on further.
Okay.
Or she probably said it in a setting that it just dropped right there in that setting like a lump of wood. Okay. It didn't surface back up. This is the probable cause why nobody knew, or not a lot of people knew, that this was something she had instituted, because nobody talked about it, because it was dropped into the sea of forgetfulness.
Who else would have memories or stories to tell about her?
In my opinion, everybody that lived in that area on Traverse and Woodline and Nodell and all those places, everybody that had a child or didn't have a child knew about the Action House, who lived in those areas. So everybody in that area, like I said, should have some recollection of her, because she touched so many people and made a difference to so many children just by being there to give them something to eat.
Okay.
You know, that's the most important. She was there to service She was a server. She was a giver.